Hi guys, so today we will talk about this little mouse here, the Pulsar X2 Mini esports version 3. So if you are unfamiliar with the Pulsar's esports mice lineup, these are geared towards LAN tournament use and offer you some functionalities that other mice don't. So the main idea on these is that every setting change happens on the mouse itself. So whenever you are at the tournament venue and plug your mouse into a computer that you have never used before, you don't need to install any software to change some settings. To help with that, they have included a small screen on the bottom of the mouse that shows every relevant piece of information very clearly, and they have buttons for the DPI and the polling rate. With some button combinations, you can also fine-tune the DPI value if you use something else than the standard 400, 800, 1600 or 3200. And yeah, while these are clearly not the only mice that have the capability of changing the settings on the mouse itself, these are the only ones that have this screen. And everything is very easy to do with these esports mice from Pulsar. Another change with these esports versions is that they are usually a bit heavier than the normal counterparts because of the screen, and also these do have a larger battery, since pros that these mice are geared towards don't usually mind heavier mice and may want a better battery life instead. I have to admit that after using the crazy light version of the shape so much, going to a little over 60 grams with the same shape was a bit odd at first, and while I could fingertip the crazy light version very nicely, I just can't do it comfortably here. My grip on this is pretty much claw grip on this version, and yeah, it does work nicely. The mouse is still like 10 grams too heavy for my preference with this size of the mouse, but you know, that is just a preference thing, and clearly I am not a pro, so yeah, I am not the group this mouse is geared towards. Also, I do notice it being a bit back heavy because of the screen and the battery, but it is honestly nothing that drastic that would hurt my performance with the mouse. Build quality seems very good, and it seems that Pulsar have really come far from the early days of Pulsar. This is simply just a very well built mouse. No creaking, no flexing, and main buttons feel very nice and solid as well. The switches are not the newer FE opticals used in the Crazy Light, which is kind of a bummer since they feel nicer than these to me, but the Rashas here are implemented better this time around, and they are a decent optical switch implementation. They do have a harsh click feel, Rashas have typically, but once again, it's a matter of taste. The pre and post travel are really nice on these, nothing bad to say about that. The side buttons feel solid, and so does the aluminium scroll wheel that I absolutely love. It looks like it would be a slippery thing to use at first, but with the encoder they use, it's a really nice and deep scroll experience, which is a pleasure to use. As for the wireless performance, the polling seems to be really not that stable in any polling rate, which was the same on the previous esports models that I tried from them, which makes checking motion latency quite impossible. Click latency measurements are also out of the question since the opticals it's using, and I don't really have the time or interest to find the test points of the PCP, so all I can really say is that it performs wirelessly. Honestly though, I did not encounter any issues using it, and even though the stability is maybe not the best measured with the tools at my disposal, it still works really well, which makes me wonder, why do I even test these things? But yeah, to keep it short, it's pretty much a X2 Mini with the esports format, with a screen and a larger battery, which makes it heavier and slightly backwards heavy. Personally, I like the Crazy Light more, mainly because of the clicks and the weight, but yeah, this is still good, and it will offer something for those who want the screen and maybe prefer a bit heavier mouse. That's about it. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.